Yeah, Destruction in Kobe 2024.
Welcome to the MegaMets podcast. Tonight is Destruction Kobe 2024 live predictions. Location, the Hyogo World Memorial Hall in Kobe, Japan. I have to start this from the bottom again. I really hate the New Japan switch to this setup.
Well, I'm having it on Wikipedia right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
On paper, this card looks relatively stacked. So you want to start with the opening matchup?
Of course. Let's get started. We have a six-man tag, and seriously, there's like 4 tag team matches on the card.
What do you expect? This is how Japanese shows usually do it. What's up with your mic lately? Did you get a new one?
I have AirPods. I'm using AirPods.
Oh.
So if you notice one of my side there you go. I don't know why, but I hear like sound on the right side, which is kind of weird. So anyway, The first match on this list is Yuji Nagata, Tomoaki Honma, and Tiger Mask versus Shota Umino, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Dragon Dia.
It's actually pronounced Dragon Dia. I didn't find out until after BOSJ.
I didn't really think it would actually be possible.
I mean, it makes sense why this kid is in this match. It's in Kobe, the home base of Dragon Gate. And we haven't seen this kid since the Best of the Super Juniors.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, do you go with the old guard or the new guard? Even though technically Taguchi's not really new guard, he's in his mid-40s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Nagata part of the championship committee alongside Tiger Mask and Honma, basically,
you make a good point.
Onto a lot of cards in the recent years since returning from a neck injury that left him paralyzed in early 2017. It took him 15 months to get back from.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go with Umino, Taguchi, and Dia.
I'm going with Nagata, Honma, and Tiger Mask.
Okay. Next up, we continue the feud between the United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japón. Yota Tsuji, Hiromu Takahashi, and BUSHI, former never openweight 6-man tag champs, against Jeff Cobb, Callum Newman, and Francesco Akira. This is
going to be such a fun match, I swear.
Back on the 9th in Korakuen, Tsuji took Cobb to the 15-minute time limit draw. Only for Renneria to attack both of them and demand himself next in line, but fortunately, that little bastard suffered an injury. I know I wouldn't wish for injuries on anybody, but House of Torture numbskulls are an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
If Tsuji wins this, he might get himself another shot at the title. Will he be the one to get the pin on Cobb?
We're going to have to see.
I mean, the TV title is an open weight belt when you think about it.
Yes, that's true.
I'm actually going to go Los Ingobernables on this one. What about you?
I'm probably going to do the same as well.
Okay. Next up, Hirooki Goto versus Gabe Kidd. This one mostly stems from an injury suffered by Jake Lee, and Gabe Kidd points the finger at blame at Goto.
No surprise here.
That's for sure. Gabe is going to be out for blood in this. Can Goto hold him off?
Or end up falling. Goto. Let me see. Is it Goto or Kidd who's out for blood? Probably Goto. Kid's out for blood, and I don't even know if he's going to survive. I'd say let Gabe get the win.
I'm going to go Goto, believe it or not.
That's interesting.
You want to handle this one?
Oh, yes, we have another 6-man tag. This is the third one on the card. We have Zack Sabre, or rather TMDK, consisting of Zack Sabre Jr., Kosei Fujita, and Ryohei Oiwa, versus just 5 guys, SANADA, TAICHI, and, of all people, Takamichi Noku.
And you just had to ruin the surprise. I mean, true, it's a no-brainer. Oiwa is the newest member of TMDK, having finished his excursion in Noah last week.
This is a surprise.
He was there for over a year.
I know. I didn't really think they would ruin the surprise. I'm like, what?
I mean, that was one of the main reasons I used the New Japan site and not Wikipedia for these. Why do you think I kept it as X with the Destruction Ryogoku event last year, even though we knew it was going to be Yuya Uemura?
Yeah, but even though I'm seeing it right now, they revealed it anyway.
Let's just give this one to TMDK and get it over with. It's mostly set up for Royal Quest 4 when SANADA faces Zack. And we don't even know if that's going to be for the IWGP World Heavyweight title or not.
I know, considering what's about to happen much later.
That's for sure. Oh, God. I'll handle this one. Mostly
Go ahead.
Mostly because I am sick of this combination.
Here comes the ranking, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back and enjoy.
And Bebop tag team of the Sacho, the company, or president, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toru Yano, take on the fucking House of Torture, combination of Evil, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. For the love of God, can we just kill the House of Torture already? These motherfuckers have been driving me up a wall for almost 5 years.
Let's also not forget that they have Dick Togo in their corner, which makes it worse.
Personally, I don't really care for that little penis and for that little phallus.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you.
We all know this is eventually going to set up a match between Tanahashi and Evil. At the worst and soonest possible outcome, it happens at King of Pro Wrestling. At best and latest outcome at Wrestle Kingdom with the stipulations as such. If Evil wins, he becomes the Sacho of New Japan, and it'll be a fucking dark day if that happens. But Tanahashi wins, the House of Torture finally fucking dies!
Well, if it makes you feel any better.
Once and for all!
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm voting for the champs to retain.
Thanks. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that does happen. And like I said, whenever that match between Evil and Tanahashi happens, Gato, if you have any smarts to listen to the fucking fans, both domestic and...
What was that?
My mom's got me basically on a sound.
Understandable.
My apartment's not soundproofed. The drop ceiling isn't soundproof down here. Anyway, the sooner Tanahashi we get this match out of the way, which I'm pretty sure they're going to hold off till Wrestle Kingdom with, and we can finally kill the House of Torture, the better.
Yeah.
Give it to the champs, but I have this bad feeling in my gut that the House of Torture is going to sneak out with the belt, and it's going to load up Evil's pride to where he'll make that match as soon as he wants it. But personally, I say save it till Wrestle Kingdom.
That's true.
Okay, you're up.
All right. Time for us, now that we got all the tag matches out of the way, or rather, all the tag matches, now we get to the titles. Up first is Doki, the champion, versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. To make this worse, Kanemaru has Takahashi and Dick Togo in his corner. Wait, seriously? Why?
Because remember last year, the match between Sho and Taichi, where everyone was handcuffed, Kanemaru turned on Just Five Guys and joined House of Torture.
No surprise here.
And remember, Uemura is out for at least 6 months with an elbow issue.
Oh, that's even more painful.
But look at it this way. Kanemaru, this is only his second crack, as far as I know, at the IWGP Junior title. He's a former World Junior Champion All Japan once, and a 7-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion in Noah. But he's basically been stigmatized as a tag wrestler in New Japan, having won 6 IWGP Junior Tag titles, once with Ryusuke Kikuchi back in the day, then Taiki when Suzuki-gun returned from their banishment in Noah, and 4 more with Desperado. Most of them during the pandemic.
So this is going to be a tough one. Who's going to win this, Doki or Kanemaru?
It's going to take a miracle for Doki to pull it out, but I'm giving him the chance to retain. I mean, too often this belt is hot potato over the years.
I agree.
Exception of the recent Hiromu run that ended at Wrestle Kingdom back in January. Where he held it out for a year exactly.
True.
Next up, never openweight title. Henare defends against Shingo Takagi. This is basically a makeup for the double knockout draw they had at Dominion. A week later, in Sapporo, Henare came out on top. And then he retained a couple of weeks ago in Korakuen over Hiromu. And this is essentially another homecoming for Shingo because, remember, prior to signing with New Japan 2018, he was the longtime ace of Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
This is the match I am most willing to whip the coin out. If it's
so
head,
true.
I'm going to go Shingo. If it's tails, Henare.
Bring out the coin.
Already got it.
Flip.
Heads, I'm going to go Shingo.
And I will also go Shingo.
Next up, look, this one is a no-brainer. You do it.
Yep, for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. David Finlay versus Yoshihashi, and David's got Gato in his corner.
And again, I ask, was there any reason to give Yoshi this title match? Especially when you consider Yoshihashi failed to make the G1 cut this year.
I don't know what is going on.
I mean, I get it. He, like Kanemaru, he wants to wash the stench of tag team specialists off him. But here's the problem. Yoshihashi has failed on many levels as a singles competitor. The height of his ability as a singles wrestler, beating Kenny Omega on the first night of the 2016 G1 Climax.
That's probably not going to do much.
As well as maybe one never openweight title shot against Minoru Suzuki less than a year later, where basically he got screwed thanks to interference from Takahashi Iisuka.
So true.
But then again, when you consider how much of a psychopath Iisuka is, can you blame anyone for not being able to keep that nutcase on the leash?
Uh-huh.
It's a no-brainer. Finley's walking out with that title in hand, and then he'll get Goto at the soonest King of Pro Wrestling in Ryogoku, at the latest Power Struggle in Osaka to make up for that loss in the G1. Because
so true.
He's not going to go after Takeshita since he's in AEW, and Uemura's on the shelf. He won't get him until around February or March at the latest, at the soonest.
More or less.
And maybe he'll get Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
And the latter of which was mostly for Tsuji beating him in the G1 semis. Finally, the main event for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. In his first defense of his second reign with this iteration of the belt, overall, 5th title run. No, 6th title run, actually. Tetsuya Naito, no, it's his 5th. It's his 5th.
Yeah.
Against the Great Okan, the KOPW champion. Okan goes into this with the advantage. Not only has he beaten Naito twice, even though it's all been in tournament action, New Japan Cup 2021 and this year's G1, and Naito's only beaten him once in a different, I don't know when it was. He knows that he's got the opportunity to walk out of Kobe as a double champion. His KOPW title is staying put. It's Naito's belt that's on the line. And when you consider Naito's body not in the healthiest of states, he's got the advantage. However, I do believe Naito is getting out of this one by the skin of his teeth with the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I'm taking Naito to win this Sunday. What about you?
I'm not sure. Tetsuya Naito either make it's gonna be. I know for a fact it's gonna be one hell of a match.
But whoever wins this, they know who's in the waiting in the wings. ZSJ, 2 weeks. Whoever wins this will only have 15 days of recovery time.
That's not going to be enough for them. They're going to be fed to the slaughter.
Naito especially.
This is going to be ugly.
So you taking Naito or Okan?
I hate to do this, but I'm taking Naito. I'm sorry.
So am I.
No matter what happens, guess what? They're going to be fed to the wolves.
Ain't that the truth?
The bitter truth. Actually.
And as far as I'm concerned, KOPW with Zack in the main event, New Japan, if you're smart, especially if it's Naito in there, pull the trigger and put the belt on Zack.
Yeah, so true.
Because I want to see Zack SANADA in the copper box with the IW or wherever it was they're holding Royal Quest for this year with that title on the line. That's it for tonight's episode of the MegaMets. I wanted to tell you this, Jose, but recently I've joined a Giants fan collective of sports content creators, and I was thinking of merging our show with theirs. It's called the Big Blue Crew Sports Network.
Yeah, that's fair. That might work. As long as we continue doing what we do best, I'm all right with it.
Okay. We'll do that with our next airing, which I think we'll do for King of Pro Wrestling or Bad Blood, your choice. Grant,
whichever works, we'll get it done.
All right. That's it for tonight's show. Comment, like, and subscribe to both our channels. He's MegaMan NG. I'm Mets2128. Goodbye and good night. Bang. Thanks for the help, Jose.